Well, hello there, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Cancer, your sign, in January 2020. Doing it this week. It's actually a couple of days from now, to the new moon in Aquarius. We're looking at January 10th, the full moon, to January 24th, actually pretty much exactly 2 weeks, 14 days. The waning moon until it gets to Aquarius. Very much looking forward to that. Yay, first waning moon of the year. I am your reader. If you are new to the channel, Mark Angela Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, been reading since I'm 12 years old. I'm 51 and really, really happy to be doing it still and in this video medium. Kind of fun. A couple of things we just got to say before we get down to biz here. This is a general read for starters, so not everything is going to resonate with everybody all the time, which is why I do Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, at least for the What Do I Need reads, so that you can kind of watch all three of them, depending, of course, on your planetary placements and signs, just to get pieces of the puzzle. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and check your other signs. Very simple. I try and keep them fun and light. That way, even for waning moon, which can be about letting go and dissolving and all of that trickier stuff, right? The 3 days before new moon is dark moon. So just letting you know, because you are Cancerian, right? Ruled by the moon, just to be aware of that. It can be a little bit tricky. That's a nice way of saying it. What else? A What Do I Need read is a little bit different. It's sort of like every day you could go to a divination system, right, an oracle, a tarot, a rune, and just say, hey, what do I need to focus on today? Like a card of the day thing. Sort of like that, except this is obviously for 14 days, right, a full moon to a new moon. But really, it's about going to the divine through a divination system. All the decks that I read are in the description box at the bottom. Kind of saying, what do I need, right? Like having the humility to say, okay, I mean, I know I got to eat, I got to sleep, right? I got to hydrate, I have to exercise, I have to do all those things. But what do I need? Like, what do I need? Divine, God, goddess, whoever, right? My higher power. So that's why I do these readings. And I do them for myself pretty regularly, not necessarily every day. But certainly when I remember to, and when I'm feeling a little bit stressed, right? When you're stressed, it's a sign that you're leaving spirit out of it. So remember to breathe, right? Remember to breathe and say, okay, well, show me what I need right in this moment, because I'm trying to do it all myself, and I can feel my nervous system getting inflamed as I do, right? So keep that in mind. We are only doing 6 cards, 1 card from 6 different decks to kind of put together a symbolic sentence for you, if you will. So please do remember to breathe as we go. The more we are breathing consciously, myself included, the more we are deliberately tuning ourselves to the present moment where all the guidance and the grace is, right? And if you're doing it, even though obviously I'm recording this, not at the exact same time, and certainly not in the same place, you're not sitting across from me like I would a regular client, but if we're both doing that, we're both tuning to the present moment, right? So you're tuning yourself to the very energy, chi, prana, guidance, grace, whatever you want to call it, from the same source that I am in the moment. So you get to experience it in your energy field while I am translating that energy through, I'm a clairvoyant empath, so through what I see and what I feel, and then putting it into words. Cool. So remember to breathe. You'll hear me say, breathe, right? Because I need to remember to do it. And lastly, please do like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Once I get 1,000 subscribers, I can do super live chat, make a little coin on the side, which is lovely. As well as I promised my subscribers that I will do a little ditty called Drunk Tarot once a month for the first couple of months to see how that goes. There is a video in the description box below that I did clarifying what Drunk Tarot is. It's a lot of fun, is what it is, but I don't do it that often because I don't drink that often. But I'm a hoot when I do, right? All right, I guess that's it. Take a nice deep breath. Let's get down to business, my Cancerians. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, 1 Caroline Mace archetype card to represent this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign watching this video. that they can have an indication of the soul power that they are developing over this full moon to new moon next January 2020. Please, one card for the Cancerian, and you've got the Goddess. Lovely, the Goddess archetype. I usually save these to read them for the last, but this time they're saying no, read them first, so that the watcher and the viewer has the opportunity to kind of integrate it as we go along. Every archetype is neutral, meaning it has both shadow and light. I prefer the language of lead and gold, but comes out of my mouth all sorts of different ways. So the shadow stuff is the negative, right? We call the negative. It's the stuff you don't want anybody to know you're doing or even thinking about, right? Like, keep it back there. Don't. It's like hidden agenda stuff. The light is what we're shooting for, so you can see it as the toxic and the healthy. And it makes sense for over a waning moon period that you're going to be letting go of the shadow, bringing it into the light. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold on the periodic table, just saying. So 3 atoms have to be released in order to hit gold. You with me? So the Goddess archetype, a divine feminine family archetype. The shadow attribute, exploitation of the female nature and form. Now that's kind of using the divine feminine power, regardless of whether you're masculine or feminine, male or female, I should say, using that energy to manipulate, to control, pretending a certain thing, sort of like a seduction thing, but very much using divine goddess energy, which is tricky and has quite the backlash when you do. The light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. So you can feel that, right? Like, think Marilyn Monroe. We call her the goddess still to this day. Well, what happened to her was very much the shadow side of it, right? They used her and manipulated her, changed her name from Norma Jean to Marilyn Monroe in order to become this perfected image of the divine, while inside she was suffering, right? It's obviously suffering quite a bit. A very, very deep artist, but had to kind of exploit her own feminine form. Now, even if you're a man, that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to use the feminine wiles in that way, but think about using your own feminine energy in a way that exploits you in a way. Like, even me as a reader, like, I've had opportunities to do things as a reader using my own intuition and my own divinatory skills that just didn't feel right. And I always go with my solar plexus as best that I can. If it goes, answer's no, right? So, but if I were to say yes when this says no, that would be exploiting, right? And then, you know, really the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality, so much more of a beautiful thing. So keep an eye on that energy for yourself this full moon to new moon next. What we're going to do is we're going to take half of the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. Baby, Love Pack. Love, baby, that's where it's at. But the half that we're using is the suit of problem, right? The problem suit. The Womp Womp deck, as I like to call it. Womp Womp. Little Debbie Downer deck. But to help you, because it is waning moon, to sort of give you a little key, a little introductory into, like, what's the key word that you can tune into to look at what is the shadow that you have to release, right? Or at least whittle down, right? Deal with, embrace the shadow. Nice deep breath. Let's ask the masters, the ascended masters. Oh, my masters, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising sign. With the goddess archetype, please, what is the problem? What is the lead? Give us a little clarity for them about this shadow, for this waning moon, full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius. Never enough. Now, that carries a lot of weight, those 2 words, right? Because it doesn't matter how much I give, it's never enough, which is the one person giving their heart to the person on the throne. It's just never enough. It doesn't matter how much I give, it's never enough. Or is it the person sitting on the throne that says, doesn't matter, it's never going to be enough. It's never enough. You can give me everything, but it's never enough, right? So the exploitation, right? You can feel that in there. So that really does connect. I'm feeling it. Thank you, my masters. That's connecting to the deadly sin of greed, the second chakra deadly sin, the grace that heals, that is the grace of piety. Not a word we like using, piety. But it has to do with holding a one-on-one relationship as sacred. I am teaching you something, you are teaching me something, a pre-incarnational agreement of some kind. Keep an eye on that one as well. So that's in terms of what you need to really look at the never enough aspects in terms of your own goddess energy. Because we're all half goddess, half god. We are the hidden children of the gods, right? We inherit the power of our parentage, right? Like half the DNA from mother, half the DNA from father. But when we kick it up a notch to divine DNA, or start talking about crystalline DNA and all that stuff, so of course we have both of them inside of us, right? So don't go against your gut, like even if just that's what you take away from this. Really, really pay attention, because the deadly sin of greed in the second chakra is a bottomless pit that can never be filled. Cool, cool? Or not so cool? Let's ask the angels with the Doreen Virtue Healing with the Angels Oracle for their overview. Nice deep breath, please. Ah, there you are, my angels. Please, one card in overview for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Cancer, their sign, to new moon next in Aquarius, January 2020? Please, we've got the goddess archetype and never enough. Please, an overview, my angels. What can they do to focus on? What do they need? Enchantment, I've said it before, not my favorite card in this deck, because enchantment has many different meanings, but the one that sticks in my craw, things are not as they appear to be, right? It's like, oh, it's a beautiful piece of jewelry, it's a ring, you put it on and poof, you grow antlers, right? You know, it's like, you didn't know that was going to happen. A little sneaky, sneaky, right? The other part of this card, and I think why they use the unicorn in the artwork here, is that the divine is at work, and you can't tell what's going on. The fairies of the universe are arranging synchronicities and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm a Virgo and I'm a witch. I look at a unicorn, yeah, I get it's a unicorn, it's a mystical creature, but it's a couple of tons of raw muscle with a deadly weapon on its head. See what's there. That's just how I roll. So be careful of enchantment. In the shadow side of enchantment, that something's going on that you don't see, something behind the scenes going on, but maybe that thing behind the scenes, this possibility, is the divine trying to teach you something, trying to help you let go. Because ultimately, everything that happens to us is not happening to us, it's happening for us. Everything is here to help us, but to grow and evolve on a soul level. The personality does not have to like it. So you can bitch and moan about it as much as you like, but if you can love even the part that bitches and moans, you're going to go very, very far in your own soul development, because love is the healer. It's not the only healer, but it's the one that always works. It's just tricky, right? It's rough. It's hard to love what rises, right? It's hard to love yourself. You know, no one tells us how. Here's how. You put a hand on your heart whatever you're feeling, and you talk to that inner child. Cancerians are the mothers of the zodiac. You all really could be. Every day, several times a day, putting your hand on your heart and just talking to your heart chakra like the inner child, because it is. It's the emotional body, right? All of the memories, all of the hidden stuff in there, the stuff that you haven't dealt with, literally putting in the shadow, emotional baggage, talking to that child, let it cry, and even if it's just, I love you, no matter what comes, no matter what goes, I love you, no matter what enchantment, I know you're starving with this never enough, whatever it is, I love you, and you will never be alone again, right? That kind of stuff is a really great way. Of course, tears are going to come. Of course, emotions are going to arise when you do that, but can set you free little by little by little. All right. So what we're going to do is to get one tarot card, Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Fiona Morgan, to represent the voices of the goddesses and the gods. Usually I only use it for the goddesses, and I use the Mythic Tarot for the gods, but this time they were like, nope, just one. Okay, so let's do that. Nice deep breath, please. Ah, lovely, lovely. Here we go. Oh, my goddesses, please. One card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Cancer to new moon next in Aquarius? Considering we've got the goddess archetype, very much Cancerian, the never enough from the Masters, and the card of enchantment, which is a little neutral for me too, as I said, positive, negative, somehow it balances each other out or cancels each other out. So, my gods and goddesses, what would you like to add? What do they need? The Cancerian card. It's literally the card. It says Cancer on it, which is why I love the Daughters of the Moon as well as the Mythic Tarot, because they don't mince around with zodiacal correspondences to the court cards. It says right on it, Mother of Cups, Cancer at the top. So this is about your emotions. This is about you being authentic. So really, you gotta alchemize. You gotta, I don't care if you are a butch guy, right? Tattoos. I don't care if you chew glass, piss, lightning, and crap thunder. That to really get in touch with the feminine, express through wisdom, nature, life force, sensuality. Go out into the woods. Now, it's freaking cold where I am in Long Island, but wherever you are, go out, connect with nature. You know, trees, beaches, all of that kind of stuff, mountains, so that it puts you in touch with your own nature, even if it's that interior stillness and silence, the depth of the great oceans. Beautiful. So really connecting with your feelings, and know that if this is a message for a lot of y'all, that if you are empathic, if you are feeling other people's stuff in your body and your own nervous system, make sure you're not being exploited. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you cry that stuff out. You love that stuff out. Make sure you have time to integrate and detox other people's stuff. Sometimes it's just a matter of taking time to yourself. But if you live with people, sometimes you really do need to get literal physical distance in order to disconnect energetically. Not that we can't be feeling all of life no matter where we are. But that might be the thing with enchantment too. You might be like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Because there's stuff going on you can't see, right? There's stuff going on energetically. Like our cell phones, right? It's like you can't see a cell phone signal until it hits the phone. You could think of that as all of this energy in the air, other people's emotions dealt with, not dealt with, rage, joy, although you never hear people bitch about empathing somebody else's joy. But you don't know it until that it even exists until it's in your nervous system, like the circuitry in a phone. Just saying. So that's interesting for the Cancerian. You got the Cancerian card. I love these readings. They're so much fun. What we're going to do next is get from your higher self a Whisper of Love from the Whisper of Love Oracle, which I adore. So please, a nice deep breath, my Cancerians. Oh, another one. What the hell? The higher selves of all involved, please, one card, a Whisper of Love for this Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Cancer to this new moon in Aquarius, considering we've got the Goddess from the collective pantheons, Never Enough from the Masters, enchantment from enchantment from the angels. The gods are talking about the Mother of Cups, the Cancerian card, which is so on the nose considering. So the higher selves of all involved, please, what would you like to add to this waning moon party for this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, this new moon, this full moon to new moon next January 2020? Listen with your heart. Listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart. And maybe that is about listening to the inner child or the emotions that rise within you, rather than, see, if you don't listen to them and let them have their voice, it builds up pressure over time. And then in a weak moment, it flies out of you, right? You either explode emotionally, or you say that thing you know that you shouldn't say, or you text it, post it all over social media, something like that. So listen with your heart. I love you. It's okay. And if this is manifested, somebody outside of you listening, listen with your heart. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with them. It just means that you're honoring their right. Like, they have a right to express themselves, right? Freedom of expression, freedom of opinion, right? That's your point of view. And if it's triggering you like fuck, or you just want to kick them in the teeth and run, breathe, be respectful. Let your conduct be that of a loving mother. And if the person is irrational, imagine them as a child. That child in their heart is in pain and suffering and angry and traumatized, whatever it is, just like all of everybody else is. So you can have compassion there. Really listen. Listen with your heart, whether it is your own or someone else's. Thankfully, we've got one card left. The new deck, the healing mantra deck by Matt Kahn, my new favorite spiritual teacher. And I collect them like divination systems. I love my spiritual teachers. I am a spiritual teacher, and as a spiritual teacher, I'm always learning, and I'm always passing on what I've learned. Yes, a lot of the stuff that I do is direct from the divine, right? Downloaded right in. But when I come across somebody who's really got a great way of conveying truth, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every day. You just pass on what works for you. Then we can all be spiritual teachers because we're all spirit, right? But teach by example first and foremost. That's why I'm so much fun. Let's get one from the masters. Yeah, we're double dipping with the masters, but that's how they wanted it. So nice deep breath, please. Keeping in mind that a mantra is not an affirmation. Yes, they are both repeated, but a mantra is like a soul code that you repeat over and over and over as if to reprogram your DNA, your cells. So the way this deck is made, one side of a card is the name of the mantra, the other side the mantra itself, and then in this little booklet, he gives like a paragraph of extra info that is so valuable. I love this deck, as I've been saying. I call them my cardboard light sabers. They just cut through a lot. All right, nice deep breath. Here we go. The Ascended Masters, please, my masters, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do they need for this full moon in Cancer to this new moon in Aquarius? What do they need? What do they need? Considering we've got the Goddess, Never Enough, Enchantment, the Cancerian card, and listen with your heart, not to your heart. Although that might be in there too, and it's also a heart lyric. If you know what I'm talking about, you might not be old enough to know who I'm talking about. Annie. All right, nice deep breath. My masters, please, what is their healing mantra? A good one for them, please. Embodying my soul is the name of the mantra. Embodying my soul. I have a right to be excited. I have a right to be excited, which sort of, changes the vibe on this a lot, in the sense that what you might be feeling intuitively because of the enchantment, you might be very like, and not knowing if it's positive or negative, right? Particularly with this Goddess energy and with the Cancerian card and Never Enough, that it feels like the interpretation of what you are receiving emotionally, intuitively, not exactly the same thing. It's almost like the intuition is the feeling, and then the emotion is the reaction, and then the considered part of it is the response, right? So you're going to react. It's like, oh, right? What is that? Oh, it's scary. Oh, let me breathe through that. And the child goes, change is coming. Not necessarily that the change is negative, right? So let's look this one up. Embodying, opened right to the page. A lot of synchronicities going on for you all Cancerians. Embodying my soul. I have a right to be excited. Very easy mantra to remember. When your soul is embodied, you are grateful to be alive. You are aware of life as a precious opportunity to experience the frequency of your own light through the unique attributes, characteristics, and senses of a person, right? Because your spirit, that's manifested as a person. As your soul becomes embodied, you are elated to be a part of life's cosmic play, no matter how bad things seem. That's a really great way to prepare yourself with this mantra, because the gut can be feeling, well, change is coming, but there's a possibility of loss, right? Having no idea what it is. Well, the word excited in a way is neutral, right? Like almost like the word agitated, right? It's like something is excited. We think of it in the positive, but what if it's a blend of both, right? Cancerians, you're known for being moody because you are the sign of the moon, right? You are moon children. So really pay attention to that child, because you might have a set of twins where one's feeling totally terrified and the other really excited, right? Like roller coasters, right? Like one kid can absolutely love the roller coaster, so thrilling, and the other be terrified. Doesn't change the nature of the ride. It's all about the different, you could say emotional baggage, or unprocessed emotions we have within us being triggered, right? So the last bit on this is usually helpful. This mantra is ideal for developing courage, finding your inner voice, how interesting, that inner child voice, and feeling safe in your body. So we start with the goddess archetype, right? About this exploitation or this like expression of wisdom and nature and sensuality, right? Lovely. But with this vibe of never enough, to really feel like if it's that thing, if it doesn't matter how much I do, it's never enough, to really give that voice, because there's something else going on here, that perhaps things are being orchestrated so that you will feel and embrace the vibration that every mother has felt on planet Earth, whether it's a literal mother or a symbolic one, regardless of gender. I give and I give and I give, and it doesn't matter how much I labor, right? The word labor, like as in pregnancy, or how much I work, or how much I give and I give to you people. We all know the song, right? The story, the song of that one. So give that voice, but then as well listen with your heart, right? Get that, oh my God, we've been neglecting ourselves, right? We've been pouring out our cup, nothing left. So now in this waning moon, I gotta let some of that go, right? I have to take care of me. I have to give love to this child and listen to whatever rises within me. And if I cry, I cry. But keep in mind, Cancerians, look, I'm a Virgo. I cry pretty much every day. I'm very current with my emotional stuff, or at least I try to be. So when I get triggered, what I do is I go home. Like I'm the hermit of Holbrook. Holbrook's where I live on Long Island, right? And I will shut off the phone, and I will grab a bath towel, screw tissues, and just cry, scream, a little Gestalt therapy, perhaps, emotional exorcism, loving what rises, right? Check out Matt Kahn. He's brilliant. His YouTube channel is awesome. Matt Kahn, All for Love. Check him out. Because then that thing of embodying my soul, I have a right to be excited, even if that excitement is right, like a little like, oh no, it's coming, something's coming, and I don't know that you have a right to feel that way. Just don't let it run the show, right? Very, very interesting read from my Cancerians. Very emotional, not shocked at all, particularly with this goddess energy and the goddess archetype and the Cancerian card, your own sign. Listen with your heart, very, very much mother stuff. Not that it couldn't be maiden or crone as well, right? So there you have it. May the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs be blessed with everything that they need, right? What do they need? May they be blessed with everything they need for this full moon in Cancer, their own sign, to the new moon in Aquarius. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Help me reach my goals by subscribing and liking and sharing and hitting the notification bell and all that kind of stuff. Drive my numbers up so that I can get to 1,000 subscribers and do Drunk Tarot. We're going to have so much fun when we're doing that. Cool, cool. Thank you so much for watching. And as ever and as always, wishing you the very best and the very blessed. Hail. Farewell and blessed be.